This video is brought to you by high-quality streaming service Qobuz. Sign up for your free trial using the link below. Should I buy a hi-fi system if I only listen to music using Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, Mixcloud, Pandora, basically lower quality streaming services? This is a question I get asked a lot, and a lot of people seem to doubt the wisdom of buying better hardware because they have been told endlessly by audiophiles that Spotify is shit, Apple Music is shit, SoundCloud is especially shit. I'm here to tell you that those audiophiles are overreacting, especially in the context of you and your needs. Because the hardware that you listen on has much more of an impact in the early stages of your sort of hi-fi system journey than does the streaming service that you use. So for example, this is a Bluetooth speaker. Many people listen on a singular Bluetooth speaker like this. I mean, these are marvels of engineering, but the big problem with them is that, there's no stereo separation. The great thing about a hi-fi system like that behind me, left and right speakers separated by 2 meters or so, is you get proper stereo separation, which means the music can live in the middle of the speakers. If you've got a good-ish hi-fi system, you'll be able to point to sound that seems to exist between the speakers. That's the beauty of the illusion of having a decent hi-fi system. Now, you don't have to spend the money that I have invested back here, although not all of it is mine, like a nice pair of stand mounts, a few hundred bucks on an amplifier, and then, you could just hook your phone right into the back of the amp. Not a great DAC in most phones, but that doesn't matter. Don't get hung up on these things because the speakers will make the biggest difference, and then the amplifier, and then the DAC, and then you might want to think about moving from Spotify to Tidal or Qobuz. And in fact, as you might have already heard on Spotify, you'll notice how some songs, older 80s songs, sound really quiet and a little bit thin and a bit shouty. Now that's because the mastering technique, the way the music was put together in the studio, was different back then than it is now. And it's not always better now, in some ways it's worse, but the fact that you've heard differences using Spotify means that the mastering matters more than the quality of your streaming service's stream or codec. So please don't think that just because you only listen to, I listen to Spotify all the time. Yes, I can hear it's not as good as Tidal, but in most cases, I don't really mind. If I've got an album I want to play and I've got a choice between Spotify and Tidal, I'll pull the Tidal, especially if I'm at home. But if I'm out in the street, I'm going to use Spotify all the time because it uses less data and I can offline it much more easily than I can with some of the streaming systems I use here, like Roon. Yes, you can offline Tidal, of course you can. Yes, you can offline Qobuz, of course you can. But we're talking about Spotify today. Spotify is not the evil that many audiophiles like to make it out to be, and that's especially important for beginners, newcomers to hear. So if you're in any doubt as to whether you as a Spotify user or an Apple Music user should invest in a nice amplifier and a pair of speakers, I am here to tell you, do not doubt it for 1 second. Better amp, better speakers will transform, literally transform the way you appreciate music, even from Spotify. It will change your life. So please, don't hold back if you're a Spotify listener. Get those speakers, get that amp, get involved, and don't listen to the grumpy old men who tell you that Spotify is shit, because they're just grumpy. Just ignore them. If you feel inspired by this video, please give us a like. I've got another Back to Basics video coming up about DACs, actually, about how you can improve your digital sources, but that kind of presupposes that you already have speakers and an amp. So that's coming up. If you don't want to miss that, then subscribe to this channel, hit the bell, and thank you for watching.